doesn't have or doesn't house a Beis Yaakov high school, but it certainly has wonderful people in there, special people, and special students. A few years ago, I was called by the school if we would start to take in girls from Ottawa. Girls from Ottawa? I wasn't really sure. But when we met them, we were so impressed. Why were we impressed? We were impressed because of the great devotion of the Torah teachers who went to Ottawa and instilled and infused a Torah Ruach into that city. Beresham, I'm not really sure historically, but Beresham, Rav Yehuda Pinchas Stein and his wife put into Ottawa in outreach and in chinuch something incredible. And when I met the girls in grade 9, I said, how do you know, who taught you last year? Well, Mrs. Science. And who taught you the previous year? Mrs. Science. And the year before that? Same answer. Obviously, Rabbi and Mrs. Science are mechanchim par excellence. It was 2 years ago. I think it was on the day of her graduation, when from that day on, we davened so much for Yehuda Pinchas ben Asna, and Baruch Hashem, the result of our tefillos is that he's able to come here and speak to us tonight. It is a great kavod for me to ask Rabbi Yehuda Stein to come and address us.
Okay, I think that's good. I want to thank everybody for allowing me to come. It's an incredibly meaningful and emotional time for our family. We sincerely thank very much Conrad and all of the teachers that Asna has had over the years, and for making it possible for me to come. It's accessible here. It means a lot to me to be here. So I want to say thanks. That's the first thing. The Gemara in Kedushin says that Rabbi Yochanan used to stand up when a goy used to pass by him. And he said the reason for that was because Soros must have met with that person because the person is elderly. And when a person is old, it seems that at some point during his life, he must have had some challenges, opportunities to become better, to become stronger. So, if we stop to think about that for a minute, the question is, how does Rabbi Yochanan know that? Because he sees an elderly, non-Jewish man, obviously a Jewish man. How does he know his life's history? how does he know that this person deserves respect, that Rabbi Yochanan himself should stand up? So apparently, it's part of living, part of life, on this day of celebrating completion of high school and moving on. We're so happy for our graduates. At the same time, there are so many opportunities which entail difficulties. And I thought I might give a little bit of advice the graduates may consider to help them as they go forward. Last week's parsha, it says, Shlach v'cha adash, that you should send for yourself men, spies, to spy out the land of Eretz Yisrael. So, Rabbeinu Bachai says that the extra word of lacha is la'nascha, that it's for Moshe's benefit and pleasure that the spies are being sent. And he explains that the gezerah that Moshe would not go into the land was already in place from the time of Mitzrayim, when Hashem told Moshe, Atasireh, now you'll see the Yeshua of Hashem with Yetzias Mitzrayim, but you will not see the Yeshua of Bnei Yisrael going into Eretz Yisrael and beating the Lamed Aleph Malachim. So he knew he wasn't going in. But because the Meraglim came back with a bad report, the punishment was that they needed to delay entry into the land for 40 years. Which means instead of Moshe staying behind and dying at that time, he got an extra 40 years to live. And Hashem wants Moshe to know that it's la'nascha. It's for your benefit, your personal gain, because you get an extra 40 years. So the obvious question is, do you really think that Moshe could feel gain and benefit because of what happened, that he got 40 years? What happened during those 40 years? The entire generation was wiped out. 600,000 people were wiped out. Tisha B'Av, B'chiyah L'Doros. We're still mourning. I'm sure Moshe knew the enormity of that terrible fate. Is it possible? Is there any room in his heart to possibly feel any amount of hana? What does it mean? Apparently, Moshe Rabbeinu was so sensitive. His heart was so open and wide. He understood definitely, with the clearest vision, what that chait was. But at the same time, simultaneously, he was able to find what could have been overlooked, could have been missed, and would have been missed if it wasn't for Hashem telling him that you can do it. You can see what's good. That's right. A little bit, a tiny bit, compared to how bad things are. You have to be happy about that. That's a big lesson. There's actually a practical application of this. If a son inherits a fortune or money, the Gemara Brachos says that he needs to say 2 brachos. One is the obvious Dayan HaEmes, and the other is Atov Umetiv. He's thanking Hashem that he got a fortune of money. Imagine somebody's mourning over his father. He's meant obviously to feel it when he says that bracha. It's a mitzvah for Milos. At the same time, it says Atov V'Ametiv. He's looking also at what's good at the same time. This is an ability that I'd like to offer that the graduates think about. The ability to be aware, for their eyes to be open, their hearts to be sensitive enough to see what's good. But then what's bad, suddenly, not so bad, and what's good, what was so small, becomes much larger. I just wanted to end with sharing with you the last Tanchuma says that Rishayin Afilu B'Chayim are Kruim Mason. Rishayin, even during their lifetime, are considered to be dead. And the reason is because when they see a sunrise, they don't say a bracha of Yotzer Or. When they see a sunset, they don't say a bracha of Mariv or Havim. However, tzaddikim make a bracha on everything that they taste and everything that they hear and they see. That's the medrash. It seems to be saying that a Rasha is a Rasha because he doesn't make brachos. Now, if I was writing that medrash, I could think of a lot more severe and tragic averos than that. It's not a good thing not to say brachos. But that's a classification. It's something, the demarcation between a Rasha and a tzaddik. The answer, I believe, is that this medrash is not defining the gravity of mitzvahs and averos. If so, would have picked much greater mitzvahs and much greater averos. It's defining what a tzaddik is, and what a Rasha is. Rasha is somebody that doesn't notice opportunities to say brachos in nature. They don't see what a tzaddik sees. They don't taste what a tzaddik tastes. A person is not allowed to be like a stone to go through life without realizing and living with the fact that we're literally drowning in luxuries and in chesed beyond our comprehension. It has the power, even small things, to be understood and to have the headspace, even at the same time that great, terrible, tragic things, like what happened in the Midbar, it has that ability. So that's my bracha for the graduates, and really for all of us, that this is how we should go through our everyday. And to understand that maturity means facing our challenges, becoming better. And one way to do that, to help us, not only is to understand that what looks bad is actually good, and that's a tough one. But beyond that, if you could just see at the same time, simultaneously, like you need to say that bracha of Diana MS and Dormamit. You can go on at the same time. And I hope all of us in the future will be able to take that to heart, and we'll all do that. Thank you very much for listening.
Perfect, thank you.